playing a little bit of, who am I playing? Ed Sheeran. So I wanted to play a little music as we got started. We are talking today about 3 tips to help you get ready for intimacy. So hopefully you'll be joining me. And if you do jump on, let me know if you are here and say hi so I know you're here. We've been having some issues with Facebook recently, so I'm not always seeing who is here and who is on. Let me just turn this off. And so if you do have any questions, type them into the chat, but hopefully I will see you guys jumping on soon. So happy Saturday. Hope you guys are having a great morning, afternoon, wherever you may be. Let me know if you are watching live or through the replay. And as always, don't hesitate to leave questions, ask questions, reach out. You know that I'm here. And we also have Yulia, who is part of the team, and she's going to be answering some questions too if she sees any questions in the group, and she'll probably be reaching out to you. So thanks for making her feel so welcome. So let's get started. I'm not sure who's on, so if you are, say hi. I can't see anybody on yet, but who knows, you might be out there. So apologies if I don't answer you. I don't know how Facebook's playing lately, so we'll see how we do. So 3 tips. That's what we're talking about today, ladies. We're talking about intimacy as we navigate through menopause. And so really all things intimate about what we are experiencing in this stage of our life, how we are feeling, what this is looking like for our relationships with our partners. And so there's a couple of questions I wanted to ask you. When you think about being intimate with your partner, is it a, how can I duck and dive? How can I avoid this? How can I get him distracted? How can I get my partner to focus on something else instead of me? And are you feeling guilty for that? When was the last time you were intimate with your partner? When was the last time you actually enjoyed being intimate with your partner? So these are the types of things I really want you to think about, and how we can start moving back into that place where we used to have butterflies. We used to be happy when our partner touched us. We used to feel excited. So all those things may really have been impacted through this beginning of perimenopause, or as you're navigating through into postmenopause. Your testosterone is going to be impacted. And so you're not going to be producing as much as what you typically would. And that is directly related to our libido, our fertility, all things sexual from a hormonal perspective. And that is why we're experiencing low libido, some vaginal atrophy, some dryness, vaginal dryness. Those are all things that are starting to impact us, and why we are turned off, I guess, for lack of a better word, about sex. Instead of being turned on and being excited and interested, we are more disinterested and avoiding it. So this is leaving you and your partner very likely frustrated. There's a loss of connection there, and you're probably doing a grin and bear it as opposed to really being enthusiastic and engaging and being enjoying of the intimacy. If you're discomfort, if you're having any kind of soreness or any kind of discomfort during sex, that's definitely going to turn you off, and it's just going to really cause a disconnect between the two of you that you may have be feeling, which you haven't typically ever had that issue before. So this is why I really wanted to talk about the importance of cutting out this pattern of disconnect, of guilt, of lack of interest, because that pattern is going to stop you from continuing to try and find solutions to this. So we want to shift that pattern into an area now where you are going to be open and more receptive to being intimate with your partner. And that's why I wanted to talk about some tips that I think could be really a great place for you to start, and so that you can start to hopefully reignite that flame between the two of you, that you can start to feel excited when they're close to you, when there's the anticipation of having sex. You're going to feel a little bit more of those butterflies. But this isn't an overnight thing. This is something that you and your partner are going to have to work with and really start to prioritize into your lifestyle again. And that's why one of the first tips that we focus on is communication. And so, ladies, we really need to speak to our partners about what we're experiencing, why we are disinterested in sex, why we just don't have that flutter when we are near our partner. And so by speaking to them about what you're experiencing and how you're feeling, and physically as well. And I know I had this conversation with my husband, and he was kind of a la 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 la, don't want to know, don't want to know. So I really had to speak in a language that wasn't going to be too much information, but at the same time, really sharing with him why physically I may not be wanting to be intimate, and also why emotionally I am potentially disconnecting. And it's not necessarily about who my partner is and a lack of attraction. It's more just a lack of interest. And so really being honest about what's going on with you and sharing this type of experience that you're going through, or these physical or emotional things that you're experiencing, it's going to hopefully help them really understand why you are not feeling sexy and why you are sort of avoiding the touch, or avoiding that move they make when they want to initiate sex. And I get it. You know, if you've got hot flashes or you're getting night sweats and you are not sleeping well, hey Janice, thanks for joining me. Great to see you. We're talking about all things intimate today, so I'm just going through 3 tips that we can think about when we want to increase the intimacy in our relationships. And the first one we're talking about is communication. And so by being honest and sharing, maybe your hot flashes are really interrupting your sleep. Maybe you're feeling tired, you're stressed, you are distracted. The last thing you want to do is be intimate with your partner when you've got 1,000 things going on in your brain, or you don't feel attractive. Maybe that weight gain is impacting your self-esteem, your self-confidence. So there's a lot going on with us that we really need to share with our partners and really be honest about why we are not necessarily receptive to being intimate, as opposed to potentially making your partner feel like they're doing something wrong, or that you are not attracted to them. Any of those different things could be going on there. So if you are experiencing any kind of issues around vaginal atrophy or vaginal dryness, this is where lubricant is really, really helpful. We talked about this in previous live as well, and we look at organic virgin coconut oil. That's a wonderful antifungal lubricant that you can use that won't promote yeast infections, or just use a water-based lubricant as well. And ladies, for those of you that are still having your menstrual cycle and still ovulating and still have the risk of getting pregnant, or if you're using condoms, don't use the coconut oil with a condom, because it can potentially impact the integrity and cause the condom to break. So keep that in mind. So a water lubricant might be better. But at this potential stage of our lives, a lubricant is our best friend. We really want to have that handy. We want to be able to be very comfortable with lubricating and making sure that our level of comfort around the whole intimacy is very high, because when we are comfortable, then our bodies respond as well. So if you can recognize and share with your partner, and even share statistical facts, something simple as women are 2 to 3 times more likely to have a lower libido or a decline in their sex drive than men. And women need to be stress-free to be sexually active, where men tend to be using sex as a stress reliever. So the way you're even approaching stress is very different between men and women. And so for your partners who are wanting to stress relieve and use sex as that may not be an option for you right now. So that's, again, something that you really want to talk about. So that's number 1. Communicate with your partner. Share with them what you're going through and why your intimacy is being affected, why your interest has been impacted. So step number 2 Something else, a tip that you can consider is your brain. Your brain is actually your largest sexual organ of your body. And so, as women, we know this. We know that we're not just a quick fumble and then we're ready to go. We need a lot more warming up. And that comes with all kinds of different things, sharing fantasies, sharing desires. When was the last time you spoke to your partner about desire that you have or a fantasy that you would like to share with them? Is that something that you are comfortable doing? If you are, then engage in that kind of fun verbal fantasy with your partner to try and increase the mood, increase your receptiveness to being intimate with them. Just even having some kind of sexual interaction that is not penetration. You don't have to have that kind of sexual interaction. You can touch, you can play. There are so many things that you can do where you can still stay in that level of control or that level of comfort and still be very intimate with your partner. Plan dates. When was the last time? Now I know during this crazy time we haven't been able to go out and do as much as we have been in the past, but slowly things are improving, and so go out on a date. We actually have just had our patios opened, restaurant patios open in Ontario. So just going out for a drink, going to the park, taking a picnic, going and taking a stroll, exercising together, having a bath or a shower together. These are all things that you can do to try and improve that closeness, improve the attention that you're giving to one another, especially if your partner has been feeling a little bit neglected and is feeling a little insecure in themselves also. It's really important to remind them that they are still very attractive and you're still very in love with them. And so you need to show that to them in various different ways. It doesn't always have to be through sex. And so that can also really help to improve that feeling of closeness between the two of you. And ladies, if you are stressed and you are continually coming home or being stressed, you really need to start to implement some sort of stress relievers so that you can start to disconnect from your craziness that you're feeling. So if you've got 100 things going through your mind, then take a minute and write down a to-do list, or leave that behind and carve out a specific time for just you and your partner. And even if that's after dinner, you take a walk or you just disconnect, this is where you have to put in the effort. You have to really listen to your body, and you have to understand that you're not going to be intimate and feel intimate if you are thinking about 100 things, or you're worried about something, or that you need to be on a call or something like that. So don't juggle those things. Make sure you separate them so that you can really carve out time to just be intimate with your partner for both of you, right? It's a physical as well as a mental thing. That's why your brain is so important when it comes to being intimate with your partner, because you really do need to emotionally feel connected and ready to be intimate, so that your physical body can follow, and so you can relax and be more receptive. And then the last tool or tip that I wanted to share with you is really tap into your external stimulants. So your taste, your touch, your visual, your smell, anything that you love that makes you feel cozy and intimate and feel like turns you on. What are the things that used to turn you on? And think about how you can start to implement them again into your lifestyle with your partner. So maybe a glass of wine, maybe probably not the best time of the year, but if you have access to a fire, or you want to do a nice cozy fire, then do that. Or if you even just have a gas fireplace, anything that can kind of set the mood for you, turn on your favorite relaxing music and just spend some time with a glass of wine, maybe by the fire with some soft music playing, and just chat. Just connect verbally. Put on light up a beautiful candle. Get some aromas going on in the room. Essential oils are fantastic if you want to put those into a diffuser. Things like rose, neroli, sandalwood, Those are all Lang Lang. Those are all essential oils that can kind of boost the libido, can get your physical response going. It's sort of a stimulant to that. So think about all the things that really make you relax, make you feel intimate, sort of takes away the stressors of the day, makes you feel more receptive to being in the mood, so that you can touch and you can talk and you can play and be intimate, have a bath or a shower together. Even if you are physically insecure, then choose those things that you don't feel exposed or uncomfortable to, or you're not feeling vulnerable. Always keep in mind the types of things that are going to make you the most comfortable, so that you can really express your sexual feelings again. And I think that's really something that you need to take some time to indulge in, even if that's on your own. Even if it's just reconnecting mentally or physically with yourself as to what really lights you up now. And whatever that is, go back to the communication with your partner, and then really engage in that and go baby steps. If you're really struggling in this area, ladies, go slow. There's no rush. Really listen to your mind, listen to your body, and then think about the things that you used to love to enjoy doing with your partner, and then try and tap into some of those things again. Even something as a massage or a foot rub, anything that can get your hands on one another is a great way to start breaking down those barriers and start reigniting that passion between the two of you. So these are the types of things that I want you to think about. Communication is so important for both of you. Really tapping into your brain. It's your largest sexual organ. And then also really tapping into the resources around you with music and scents and anything that makes you feel sexy, I guess, is the best way to put it. What makes you feel sexy? When was the last time you really enjoyed sex? Think about those times and then try and recreate those with your partners. So the only time that I want you to think about this being an issue is that sometimes it can be related, a low libido, a complete disconnect from any kind of emotional or physical intimacy, could be associated with an underactive thyroid, or you could have some low iron that's an issue. And if any of you ladies are on antidepressants because it's helping with hot flashes, antidepressants can also do a number on your libido, on your sex drive as well. So if any of those issues could be a possibility for you, then you definitely want to chat with your doctor. You want to take a look and get your iron levels checked. You want to get your thyroid checked. Do not adjust any of your medication, obviously, without speaking to your doctor first, but you definitely want to potentially have a chat with them about how this could be affecting your libido and how it's affecting your sex drive, and how that may be an option for you to look into. So that could be a medical condition if you're just not being able to, you just feel completely apathetic and there's no ignition for starting any kind of intimacy with your partner. If you really totally have no affect in terms of feeling sexual, then it's something you might want to consider chatting with, because it could be an underactive thyroid, it could be antidepressants, or it could be low iron. So consider that, ladies, and that's really all I wanted to chat about today. I just wanted to remind you that this doesn't have to be a pattern that you stick with. There is 100% many options that you can look at, and really try and find out what works for you. If you're really body confident and you have no issues strutting your stuff, then get some sexy underwear. Book a weekend away. Whatever you guys used to do, try and tap back into that. And if you really want to go slow, then just start with a conversation. Share with your partner how you're feeling physically, why you're hesitant to be intimate. And like I said at the very beginning, you don't have to go into too much information. My husband is kind of on a need-to-know basis. He doesn't want to know all the dirty down and dirties. but it certainly helped him understand, because he was feeling a bit insecure that I wasn't responsive to his moves, and so it was nice to be able to chat and say, hey, this is really about me, and I really appreciate your patience. And that's what it's about, respect for each other and the journey that you're going through. And so thank you, ladies. If you did ask a question, I apologize. I can't see who's on and I can't see any comments, but as always, don't hesitate to comment underneath the video if you're seeing it after, or if you've already made a comment, I'll come back and I'll answer any questions. Thank you. I appreciate your time. Have a wonderful, wonderful Saturday, and see you in the group. Bye now.